having better information, complete information, is having enough information to finish the job, not just start the job. That was a huge aha moment for me, because that's how I've operated my business for a long time. It's like, okay, we're just going to get enough information to start. I'm only going to ask you questions as we need them. I don't want to overwhelm you, and going back and forth with the designer and or usually the customer. And that is just not the way to do business.
Hey, Todd Dawalt here from ConstructionLeadingEdge.com. Thanks for listening to the Construction Leading Edge podcast. If it's your first time listening, if you're wondering what this is all about, we are all about helping construction business owners get out of firefighting and eliminating chaos. We're all about helping our clients and our audience have a construction business that's a source of freedom, impact, and wealth. And here we are, we're celebrating our 10th anniversary. That's right. I started this podcast 10 years ago, back in March 2014, and we are 320 plus episodes into it, and there's a wealth of knowledge. So if you're new to the podcast, I would recommend you go to our podcast directory. Go to constructionleadingedge.com, hit the podcast button, you'll find a directory, or you can go straight to constructionpodcast.com. If you're looking for a topic, you can type in the topic. If you're looking for somebody's name, then you can just type in their name and it'll take you right there. So here's what I've got for you today. We've got a great interview for you today with Nolan Harris. He is the owner of Riviera Construction, and they do high-end custom homes, remodeling, and additions in Southern California. And here's what you're going to hear about. You'll hear Nolan talk about why he downsized his business a while back, why he has decided to grow his business again, and why he says, quote, "It would be ridiculous not to grow the business." Nolan talks about some of the tools and systems that he has implemented in his business to support that growth. Talks about his experience going through our Systematize Your Construction Business program. Nolan talks about how he feels about giving away free estimates now, and he talks about the steps that he's taking to structure his business for success as it grows, to avoid some of the problems he had when he grew the first time, and why he says he has a, quote, renewed sense of excitement about his business after 20 years. So if you would like to join guys like Nolan, who are part of a growing group of home builders, remodelers, and general contractors who are eliminating chaos, getting out of constant firefighting mode so they can operate as the CEO of their business, then the first step, if you want to see how we can help you do that, is to go apply for a business evaluation call with my team. You can go to our website, constructionleadingedge.com, and hit the Apply Now button, or you can go straight to constructionleadingedge.com/apply, APPLY. So let's get into it. Let's get into that conversation with Nolan Harris of Riviera Construction and Leyah Hostetter, our Director of Customer Success here at Construction Leading Edge. Enjoy.
All right, Nolan, thank you so much for joining me and being willing to share some of your experience with us in the SYCB program. To kick things off, will you share a little bit about yourself? Tell us about you, your company, where you're located, things of that nature.
Great. Thanks, Leyah. So yes, I run a residential remodeling construction business. We're celebrating our 20th year in business.
Awesome.
We focus on Southern Orange County in Southern California, specifically in San Clemente, where I live. We're blessed to be able to work only in our own city. We don't take jobs outside of that. And we've been running like a 6-month to a year backlog for several years now. And business is looking great. The reason I signed up with this program is to help grow my business, not necessarily put out fires or solve existing problems, but to get a platform to grow the business.
Awesome. Few things. I love San Clemente.
Yeah, it is a great town.
City. Yeah, that's cool that you get to do all your works exclusively there as well. Really cool. And then, yeah, you're a bit of a different client for us, coming to us for different reasons. But I still want to take us back to 3 or 4 months ago before you joined this program. Can you tell us about maybe not problems, but what were some of your concerns that you were experiencing at that time?
Absolutely. So I can go back 3 or 4 months, but I'll go back 3 or 4 years.
Okay.
And really, my solution to solving the chaos in my construction business was to downsize and to say no and to get more involved with the day-to-day operations and micromanaging things. Because I'm really specific, very detail oriented. We do super high-end work. We're doing homes that are oceanfront, beautiful ocean views, and okay is not okay for our jobs. They've got to be beautiful.
Mm-hmm.
So my solution to solving my chaos was just to downsize and be very comfortable, work in a comfortable space, 2 to 3 jobs at most at a time, putting people off, saying no a lot. And we're doing great. I made more money last year than I ever have. My business is doing fantastic for me. But I started realizing that, and I think it might even been something Todd said or somewhere I read, that I'm almost doing a disservice to myself and the guys that work for me and their families if I don't improve my business.
Mm-hmm.
And I have the time, I have the ability, I have the financial means to grow my business, and it would be ridiculous not to. So the chaos we would have is, and we still do experience it on a daily basis. I just able to manage it better because I had the time. And we're moving away from that chaos and moving to a focused system. So we would have undeveloped set of plans. We would have incomplete specifications, even on our most detailed jobs. It's amazing how much detail goes into them and how much you think is there, but even more how much is not. So the guys don't know what they're exactly doing. We're making stuff up as we go along. We're having to ask designers as we go, what's happening? How are we doing this? Maybe changing things because we didn't read the plans right or didn't understand the vision, making mistakes, ordering things wrong. So not having a clear definition, what we were doing, certainly everything in my head, as Todd talks about all the time, everything stuck in my head, which is great. I'm going to keep it there. I'm going to manage everything. I'm going to do it all myself. And realizing, you know what, when I want to go on vacation or travel with my wife, go watch my son play soccer across the country, I don't want to be getting calls every single day about, hey, what are we supposed to do today, boss? That's what I was trying to avoid. So the 3 to 4 months ago was, hey, I need to do something. I need to make a change. I need to get back into that growth mentality. And I don't want to grow and go down that same road of chaos that I've already experienced multiple times. My business over 20 years, gotten busy, had 5 guys working, and then went down to like 2 guys working, maybe 3, got busy, got 5 guys working, and just covering all these mistakes. I'm just not going to have it. So now I feel like I have better tools to develop a system, create a construction company that I'm proud to own, think about my 10-year plan of having a business that I could sell as opposed to my business just being me. And I'm not for sale when I'm 10 years, right? So it's the whole package has been exciting to, again, it's like when you go to Home Depot, or not, I don't go to Home Depot very often, but getting a whole bunch of new tools for the workshop and using like, how did I live with this tool? How did I live without this tool before?
Yeah.
Or having my dump trailer, which is we bought 10 years ago, and like, how do we ever live without having a place to put our trash? So these are tools that I'm feeling like, how did I ever live without this? And knowing that the direction I wanted to go, but not just having the tools to get there.
Gotcha. Wow, you said a lot in there, Nolan.
I do talk a lot.
No, it was great stuff. But I love, there's a few points that you said that I want to just highlight or touch on. I really appreciate that you have shared that, yeah, I've been successful, but with the success came chaos because I wasn't doing it right. And so I would downsize so I could make it manageable, but realizing that it's almost a disservice to yourself and others if you're not growing and you have that opportunity, you have the availability. And so you embraced that, but realized the only way I'm going to do this and do it right is to have some of those tools that I know I don't have now. And now you have them. So let's talk a little bit about some of those tools. Let's jump forward into the program. And at what point did you realize, wow, this is really going to work? This is going to help me in my business?
Well, the pre-construction services agreement and talking about this is how we do it process, talking about the nail, the handoff section. Now, those are all many different things, all different weeks. So I just talked about, but they're really all interrelated. And that's when I started realizing it's all full circle is really the eye-opening moment for me. So when we have the nail handoff session, I have a super small business. It's me and two guys that have worked for me one for 10 years and one for 5. They're just awesome employees. All my customers love them, but they're in the field. They're not necessarily computer literate. They're not necessarily managerial all the way, but they're very capable. I was surprised to see how their willingness when I started talking to them, hey, let's design our construction business the way you want it to be. Let's talk about all the things that are not happening right now that you want to have happen. And, the two guys working for me, one of them is kind of quiet. I just thought this was going to go way over their head. They're going to be like, okay, the boss has got a crazy idea today. What the heck are we doing? They embraced it. They loved it. One of my subcontractors kind of walked in the room. So we did it on a job site. We had this huge island working on, no counter on it, just plywood, hasn't been painted yet. So it was like the perfect work surface. And one of my subs who works with us a lot, he walked in the room. He's like, I could tell him he was feeling the energy as well. So the whole pre-construction process, this is how we do it, getting something written down that we all understand, but understanding that the success of a job is really detailing it out before it even starts. Getting paid for that time to detail that job scope, materials, everything that you can think about that job. That's what's totally excited me, because I have a saying that I always tell myself, everybody wants to do a good job, but if they don't know what that job is, they're going to fail at it, right? So when I walk on the job and the guys have built something wrong, 95% of the time it's because they didn't know exactly what I was thinking on how I wanted it done. Not they didn't read the plans right. So knowing that, that's when it's really started getting me excited. Recently, I got my first agreement for the pre-construction services agreement, a verbal, and I'm taking a check yet, but knowing that that's a service that I'm not going to say sell people on. It's more of because, I have to explain it to them, certainly, which is like selling it, but you really need to show the value that they're getting more out of it than they're paid for. Yeah. Honestly. Yes. And knowing now that that's how I'm going to differentiate myself from other contractors that I'm potentially bidding against in San Clemente. And there's some ones that are really large that get a lot of the jobs. And now I'm like, you know what? Those guys want to give you a free estimate. Great. Here's what's going to go wrong with your free estimate. And here's where I'm going to take you down the road of integrity and honesty, which I'm all about. And this is why we're going to do it better. And that's kind of how you can tell I've gotten excited about it.
Yes. There's a lot of excitement. And also your team. I want to hear a little bit more about your guys. Obviously, you treat them well. They're loyal to you. You're loyal to them. But having been with you for such a long time and now opening this up, how has this affected them and impacted them?
Yes. So we're slowly implementing. So there's a lot of information in this program. And to think that we are going to make a huge life-changing change in 8 weeks is unrealistic. So it is baby steps. So we have purchased Builder-Trend. We've got a year subscription to that to try it out. The guys are already embracing that. We're talking about job documentation as far as the daily logs go. Those are just small examples of what we're talking about. We're just focusing on organization and reducing chaos through better information, really. So we haven't had the time to totally implement everything, but we're made the commitment. We just had a meeting this morning with the guys that I was explaining that every week we're going to have to dedicate some time to organize, same as a CEO schedule of me sitting down and working on the business. Guys, we're going to spend a couple hours a week. We're going to organize our tools. We're going to organize our supplies. We're going to organize our business we're going to learn more about Builder-Trend. We're going to maybe take some classes. We're going to educate ourselves to move this thing forward. And they're excited about it. We talked about it today. they're really excited about it because they don't want to see me upset when I walk on the job, and then that turns the whole job sour. They don't want to be upset. I could say everybody wants to do a good job. They want to do a successful job. They want to feel valued and know that at the end of the day, they did some beautiful kitchen. They built something awesome because they had the right tools, right materials, and right direction. So it's really simple, but it's also really complicated. So they're both of those guys are very excited about it. And I think it's going to be awesome for them because they're going to be able to grow into some positions that I was hoping to, that I need to fill. Again, with Todd's direction as far as the accountability chart and identifying what it is for a job description, how to do a successful job description, what the big five are. I still got to review all this stuff and re-go through it. But I know that now I can say, here, lead carpenter guy, this is what your job description is. Here's what your responsibilities are. Do you want to take that responsibility? It's going to come with a $5 an hour raise. Are you ready to go for this or a new truck? What's it going to be? Do you want to do this? I know the answer. I know he's going to be super excited about this. He's ready for it. It's worked for me for 10 years. By all means, he's ready to take the next step. So again, that's the whole growth mentality is, am I going to be the lead carpenter, project manager guy, or am I going to delegate this to somebody who can then provide for his family better? I'm going to make more money. We're going to grow. We're going to bring other people in and have a company culture of growth as opposed to comfortable stagnation.
Yeah, I like that. Just a couple more questions. What do you think was most impactful or beneficial for you and your team in this program?
For me right now, we've been talking about this in the group calls, it really is a pre-construction services agreement. Because I've been telling clients for years that I don't do free estimates, but I've never really figured out how to get them from what I used to do is provide a rough budget and tell them it's going to take me 60, 80 hours to put this job together correctly. I knew what I needed to do to get the job. I've always had this in my mind, but I never had the roadmap and the moral support from others that have successfully done this. I've read articles about this, I've done multiple articles, I've done all this research on it, but I never really felt comfortable doing it. So getting paid for estimates and utilizing that as a differentiation from the other contractors in my area, I'm feeling is the most valuable thing. So when I walk into a meeting, it's like, no, I don't provide free estimates, and here's why. Created a checklist of all the things I'm going to deliver to you, all the reasons why you want to pay me a relatively small fee to work this through up front, and how it's going to benefit you, the whole what's in it for you thing. I think I can explain that super easily now. And that's what I'm excited. I can hardly wait to get another set of plans and talk someone through this whole thing. Because I'm never going to spend the time without getting paid for it to do a proper estimate. And that's where I've lost a lot of business, is that there are other companies that are larger that are just spewing out numbers, giving allowances, going over budget, taking twice as long on their projects. Everyone seems to think that's a great idea because they're over promised and under delivered. And that's just not something I ever wanted to get into. That's the pre-construction services is really what is exciting me about the whole thing.
And it sounds like having those group calls and hearing how other people have been able to do that and do it successfully, that's also been a benefit to help
absolutely
reinforce that.
Yes, absolutely. So just yesterday, Todd was talking about one of his new clients and how the guy's like, well, we do, $1 million homes. How is someone going to pay 1% to 2%, or 2% to 3%, excuse me, pre-construction service fee? There's no way someone's going to pay for that. And Todd's like, well, they do. And I got plenty of customers that are doing that. So I haven't sold a pre-construction services agreement on that large of a scale, but a $250,000 remodel and $5,000 worth of my time, that's the agreement I've got going on so far. And I'm thinking that allows me a couple weeks of my time. That'd pay for about 60 hours of my time to really dial this project in. So I'm not feeling that I have to fit this estimate in at the end of my day or in the afternoon after I've already made my money for the day. And now I can fit this. I have time to work for free. Now I'm going to be, all right, I can do this. If I get a couple more pre-construction services agreements signed, I'm going to hire a project manager who's going to focus on pre-construction.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It
So
really
that's
becomes
exciting.
a win-win for everyone, you
It
and your
does.
customer.
It does for everybody. And then it filters down to the field crew and subs, is having better information, complete information.
Yes.
Is having enough information to finish the job, not just start the job. That was a huge aha moment for me listening to Todd say that, because that's how I've operated my business for a long time. It's like, okay, we're just going to get enough information to start. I'm only going to ask you questions as we need them. I don't want to overwhelm you, and going back and forth with the designer and or usually the customer. And that is just not the way to do business. Yeah. You got to have all the information up front.
Absolutely. Well, final question. How is life different for you now?
Life is different, that I have a renewed sense of excitement about my business. I know, don't get me wrong, I've never really disliked my business. Some days it's, oh my gosh, this is taking over, but it's the renewed sense of excitement about my business. Again, having been in business for 20 years, I know a thing or two about construction work, to be honest with you, and I'm a good builder and I know how to do jobs well, right? But that's not enough. I want to know, I'm a little more excited about building my business and making others in my organization successful, creating an environment where I can bring in new people. That's the difference to me, is really the excitement of growth and not feeling that that's going to overwhelm me. Yes. I'm ready for it right now. So normally when the phone rings and a new job come on, I'd be like, oh my gosh, oh no, sorry, Mr. and Mrs. Smith, we have a year-long backup. I go through 20 reasons why they shouldn't hire me. And now I feel like I've got 20 reasons why they should.
Yes. Yes. And you were telling me before we hit record, even about something that's just happening recently and even today, where you're expanding into a new
we got location. A new office space.
Yeah.
And trying to have a more professional place where I can meet with clients, and the whole growth of that. Something I've been wanting to do for years. Anytime you take on a new financial obligation, it's always stressful, right? But I'm feeling excited about it. I want a place where I can grow. This is it. This is, hiring a project manager, I think, is the first identified hire for me. And having a script for them and a job description and a system that's already written down. You saw my "this is how we do it" document that I'm working on. I'm not all means said and done, but I feel like here I can talk to a project manager, deliver them several documents, and successfully say, hey, this is what our general idea of how we're going to get customers from the very first phone call through the pre-construction agreement signing phase, through the design phase, through ordering materials, permit pulling, the whole thing. So having that, again, out of my head, onto paper, saying, this is how we do it, ready to go. Feeling way more successful on being a boss than I was before, certainly.
That's great. So excited. I can certainly feel and sense the energy and the excitement from you, and then hearing the cool stories about your team as well.
Absolutely.
I look forward to hearing even more results from you in the future. Thank you so much for joining me and sharing your story. I appreciate it.
Thank you, Leyah.
Yes, of course.
And hope you enjoyed that episode. Be sure to check out the show notes for more details over at constructionleadingedge.com/podcast. And if you get value out of this podcast, would you do me a favor? Would you please leave a rating and a review on Apple Podcasts or Spotify? And if you're watching on YouTube, please like and subscribe. If you own a construction business and you feel stuck, or you feel like you're spending too much time in day-to-day firefighting, maybe dealing with all of the problems, if everything's stuck in your head, or if you just don't feel like you have time or energy to work on your business because you feel like you're stuck working in it, if you want your business to run without you so you can take a vacation, or maybe to be able to sell your business one day. Or if you just frankly want the business to survive if something happens to you, then there are 4 crucial systems that you need to have in place. Number 1, if you're a home builder, remodeler, or commercial general contractor, you have to get paid for estimates. Those free estimates are killing your bottom line, sucking the life out of you. And you can get all the tools you need to get paid for estimates, the templates, sales scripts, pricing guidance, and let's face it, the confidence that you need. You can get all of that for free right now over at constructionleadingedge.com/start. You'll get the entire Get Paid for Estimates masterclass. Go to constructionleadingedge.com/start. You can get all of that for free. The second crucial system is that you need to design your business for the future. You need to establish the major functions of your business and the results that each function is accountable for. You need to have clearly defined roles and responsibilities. This is the foundation of every successful business, and the best way to do that is to design your accountability chart for the future. Number 3, you need to design and document your process to nail the handoff from the office to the field. This is a very disciplined and documented process that maps out every step of the pre-construction process. Look, companies that are good construction companies are actually good pre-construction companies. They're good pre-construction companies. And when you design your nail the handoff process and you have this in place, this is going to eliminate 80% of the profit bleeds and the schedule delays and chaos on your job sites. And you'll also need to learn the secret sauce for getting your team to actually implement and follow a process. Number 4, the 4th crucial system are the leadership systems that your team will use to convert your goals into reality. Look, somebody needs to be planning tomorrow's work today. Someone needs to be doing a 2-week look ahead. Someone needs to be establishing the most important things for the next 6 to 8 weeks. And you need to be having regular team meetings that are actually functional. Those are your leadership systems. And if you would like our help putting those crucial systems in place in your business so that your business can run without you, so you can get out of day-to-day firefighting and take that firefighter hat off, or if you want to be able to sell your business one day, here's the next step. Go to constructionleadingedge.com/apply and schedule a free business evaluation call with our team. On that call, we're going to do a few things. We'll help you uncover the real root causes of your problems. Number 2, help you get clear on your objectives that you want to accomplish. And then number 3, to map out a plan to make it a reality. We'll also share with you some of the things that our construction business owner clients are doing to accomplish their goals and solve the problems that you're probably dealing with. And then if you're a fit, it looks like we have a good mutual fit, we'll discuss our Systematize Your Construction Business program. So to schedule your free business evaluation, head on over to constructionleadingedge.com/apply, APPLY. Hey, thanks for listening. I'll see you next time.